Hey everybody, and welcome to day 41. So over the next couple days, they're going to be filled with, like, I want to say, things to make you ponder on, things to make you just think and get a little better in gear for 2019, to make sure that you are properly focused and not kind of stuck in the realm of things. And it's also therapeutic for me, so that it helps me just keep going on and try to make some decisions about some things and so forth. So, again, here's my little trusty, I told you yesterday, this little trusty journal that I have. But I wrote this down because I wanted to make sure I say it correctly as well, like yesterday. And when I saw this, I thought this was a good thing, because I think a lot of us, I'm going to say in the age group between 40 in our 40s and 50s, I think we question this sometimes, and I wanted to think about it and just say, what if, you stopped and started really understanding this. So the question is, have you ever been able to get a handle on what you think your purpose in life is? So it's almost a question of, do you constantly, day in and day out, kind of feel lost? Do you feel like you even have a purpose? Some people live in the limbo of not really understanding if they do have a purpose and what that purpose is. It's that day when I did you should. When you have these should moments, is that a way of getting a little nudge at saying, your purpose is greater than you getting up every day, going to work, and coming back home in this hamster wheel that I talk about quite often in a multitude of these days. But I'm saying that, are you now living in the moment of even just trying to figure out what your purpose is? And why you are in such a state of confusion. It's funny, because I truly believe that even at age 50, soon to be 50, I honestly just believe I'm just getting to my purpose. I don't believe your purpose is so driven from the very beginning. I believe it takes a road, and it takes people, it takes situations and different things to happen. And then I think you start discovering what your purpose is. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And also, I think there's a large amount of individuals that live in this realm of thinking that they don't even have a purpose, and that's just sad to me. It's like, people just live and, just don't feel like they have anything. And I think we've all gone through that process. And I also think we are currently, sometimes a lot of us are just sitting back and saying, do I really have a purpose? Like, was my purpose just to have children and make sure they go off and be successful, and then this is just the rest of my life? I'm going to work, retire, and be done with it, and just wait for the calling of my day? Or do you, in the back of your mind, have something itching at you, something that you feel you should be doing, but you're just not doing? And I'm going to tell you, you definitely have a purpose that is greater than just the norm. We have an amazing amount of power, and we have a lot of power to change people's lives and share in our stories and do things that support people, that help them understand their purpose. This is why I decided to do this 50 days until I'm 50, because I always felt that at some point someone out there is going to listen to a couple of these videos and get an aha moment. I always say the success of this project is, if I change one life, I've achieved exactly what I set out to do. It's no secret that we live in this realm of, do we really have a purpose? Like, we question that quite often. Do I have a purpose? Do I have a purpose? And what is that purpose? Even if, here's the other confusion part of that, even if in your mind, heart, body, soul, even if you believe you do have a purpose, a lot of times you have a hard time defining what that purpose is. So that's why this question is very interesting, is because it works in two ways. Like, while you may believe you have a purpose, the problem is understanding what that purpose is. So you have to figure out what your job is. You have to understand, my people out there that are Christians and believe in them, that believe in God and are just Christians. Our purpose is greater. And honestly, even if you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. Your purpose is just greater. God didn't put you on this earth just to get a paycheck. It's your job to dig deep within yourself and find out what that little thing is. It's funny because for me, I never thought 6 years ago, when I see where I am media-wise, I never thought 6 years ago that I would ever be in front of a camera. I never thought I would take pictures and different things like that. Like, my self-esteem was in the toilet, and I started to understand that when a gift is given to you and you find out that you have this gift, and in my case, the gift of gab, where I'm able to speak and intrigue people and say things, like, I understand that my purpose is that of a teacher. So, and what I mean by that, and when I mean by teacher, I don't mean so much as a subject base. I mean just the gift to be able to speak and share and draw people in. It is a gift, like, because a lot of people are petrified to speak to people in public. Meanwhile, you could stick me in front of 10,000 people and I wouldn't have a problem. So it's those little things about you that make you unique is what you should draw your purpose from. You have a purpose. And if you remember earlier on in the beginning of this 50 days of 50, I talked about your numbers, these specific numbers that tie back to who you are based on when you were born and the times and so forth. There is a number there that helps you understand what your purpose is based on your own personal numerology. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a big believer in it, and you should kind of, if you're in this limbo stage, go back to that video and listen to it and look it up and find out what your master number is, your purpose number. And you'll see that it's kind of going to tell you something about yourself, but it's also going to give you a little bit of guidance and saying, okay, you know what, maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I should be doing that. But there's always going to be something that you should be doing. Whether it's volunteering, whether it's starting a nonprofit, whether it's helping out with a nonprofit, you may have a skill that someone needs. And that could be your purpose. It may not always be that your purpose is solely just something for you personally. Your purpose may be to connect with someone else to do something to help them. Your purpose may be to start a business that could solve a major problem for a lot of people, and you just don't know where to begin, but there's a need for it. You gotta dig deeper and understand. I don't care how old you are. You're never, ever too old to work on your purpose. Never. And working on your purpose is like a domino effect because it encourages others around you. You become a hero. You become a person that people admire. I've had people say to me, I admire you because you went after your purpose. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are in positions where they don't get support from their purpose, And let me tell you something. Your purpose is your own personal responsibility. It is not the responsibility of others, nor is it the responsibilities of others to support whatever it is you're trying to do. I don't care what it is. Even if you are a person that works every day and you've had this passion for cooking and you wanted to become a chef, then do that. Because how do you know? Just take this. Just think about this. What if? Just take the theory of a chef. What if you had a passion for cooking, but you worked somewhere else and you decided to go to culinary school, and you went to culinary school, and then voila, you open your own restaurant. That restaurant then has an impact on the community because of certain things that you do within that restaurant, and then you start a program that maybe brings youth in that have a flair for food. You've now started a whole new ball game of purpose. You went from working a 9 to 5 to being a corporate business owner. You're working your passion and what you believe your purpose is, and you're changing lives in the process. What a gift. And it's all because you sat back and said to yourself, man, I wonder what my purpose is. Your purpose is there. You just have to sit back and think about it and want to be willing to do something about it. You have to be willing to say, I'm going to live for the purpose in which I have. You know, there's another, I'm going to tell you something else too. And I want you to look at this and think about this in your life. There's a reason why we get to a point where we no longer have any more children. And we get to a point in life where we get to these stages where, you know, the kids are grown and you are now alone, or your responsibilities have changed and you had more time and more than you did. You have to understand something. There's a reason you have that gap. You know, don't get me wrong. I still have major responsibilities. I take care of an elderly mother, but it's a big difference than when you're taking care of a kid and the responsibility of your children. So there's a reason why you're 40 and got teenagers and not 40 with a baby, whether you're a man or a woman. You know what I mean? There's a reason why you're 50 with only one kid and you've got this now new segment of your life. God is giving you that gap, and that gap is a reason, and it's not a reason for you to just sit back on the couch and say, okay, I don't know what my purpose is. Maybe I don't have one. We all have a purpose. We all have a purpose. It's just now it's time for you to figure out what that purpose is. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow.